Good evening, everyone. Happy Saturday, happy weekend to everyone in Australia and the world. Hope you've had a lovely weekend so far. I certainly am. Been catching up with the football, so it's been a lot of mixed results, interesting results, some expected results, but nonetheless, today's video will be about previewing the Melbourne St Kilda game tomorrow, Sunday, 15th March, the Arvo, 3:15 p.m. Melbourne home game at the MCG. But so nice for the Saints to be back again at the MCG, the home of footy. Before I get into it, I want to take this opportunity to first introduce you to my school, which I always do at the start of every recording. Okay, it's called the Academic Tutoring School. It's called the Roki School of Excellence. It's an academic tutoring school that offers group and individual classes for years 5 to 12 mathematics. Okay, all maths at all years except specialist maths. And we also offer classes, group and individual, for Western drums, octopad, which is an electronic percussion instrument, and South Indian classical drums. So if you have a child, or if you know of any loved ones or any friends who might be interested, please do ask them to contact us. My wife looks after the admin and enrollment side of school, and I look after the class fees and the syllabus side of school. Okay, so jump on board if you're interested. Okay, now to the big one. What a game it's going to be tomorrow, isn't it? An absolute big game. A game that St Kilda is expected to win. Expected. Again, I say expected. And it would be important for them to win it. It doesn't matter by how much, whether it's convincing, unconvincing, close shave, whatever you want to call it. A game they need to open their account. A game they certainly can't take lightly. Nowadays, you just can't take any opposition lightly. Okay, it doesn't matter. We saw Adelaide, Collingwood came at them. That third quarter blitz, that premiership quarter tonight, is the reason that defined Adelaide's victory. Simple. Okay? Doesn't matter where the team sits at the ladder. You've got to be able to turn up and get the job done and convert. You talk about Richmond. They almost handed Carlton their first loss of the season. Instead, Richmond were the victims of the loss because of bad kicking. Okay? Big Bob Housel's words, bad kicking is bad football. Okay? Going to be a big game. For those who don't know, Melbourne have gone through one of the most... If people thought St Kilda went through a lot of big changes in the off-season with their list, Melbourne have gone through a lot more. First of all, they've got a new coach in Stephen King, a former St Kilda and Geelong ruckman, played under Ross Lyon #1, first time. Last time the Saints competed in the grand final. And he's good mates with his former Geelong mates as well. Corey and Rob, Matthew Scarlett, Jared Rimmers, you name it. And he's in contact with them. New coach is trying to renew the exciting brand of Melbourne football, and they've gone through a lot of list changes. I know they brought in Max Heath and Jack Steele from the Saints, Brody Mychek from Collingwood, and Chung Kyun Jath, also known as CJ from Hawthorn. So they are not expected to finish that high this year. Again, not expected to. Like, I'm not saying they won't. They're in a strong rebuilding phase. They've lost a lot of players as well. I think they lost Charlie Spargo to North Melbourne. Christian Petrarca, the best midfielder in that group and in the comp, off to Gold Coast, and Clayton Oliver, probably the next best midfielder to GWS. So they've gone through a lot. In the off season, they're trying to renew everything as much as they can back after a very disappointing 2025 season under Simon Goodwin, who was the last coach to guide them to a flag. So a lot of transitioning changes, renovations they've gone through with their board and management and list and everything. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's always that omen when a team has a new coach, they start off with a bang. So we're aware of that. We know their fans will be up and about tomorrow. It's their first game in front of their home crowd. MCG is a Melbourne home game, whilst ours is at Marvel. So they have a lot of reasons to get up and about, but our goal is to just focus on our brand of football and get the win. Doesn't matter by how much. The big part is conversion. I'm not stressed about the effort. Okay, the effort has been fantastic. Okay, but they need to convert. Okay, so next I would like to take you through is the team before we get into some key take-home points. Okay, so as you can see here, guys, we have the team here. So it's a very, very good lineup for tomorrow. Very strong. Okay. We do miss Rowan Marshall. He was unfortunately omitted due to concussion protocols. So no Dougal Howard yet. Can't wait to see him back to add more height. So our back three is nice and tall, pretty strong. Jack Silvani, Cal Wilkie and Caminiti. You would think they'll get the job on people forwards like Bailey Fritz, Jacob Van Rooyen and Brody Mindcheck. Then at the halfback you got Taru, Hill and Naz. You would think Naz or Hill, probably Naz will go on to Cozzy Pickett from Melbourne. That's going to be an enthralling contest, no doubt, and one that has to be watched. Windy, you'll think will get the job on Ed Langdon. Max Hall, I think will go on Steele and Darcy Wilson, so through the running through the middle. And then they'll be supported by TDK, our ruckman, number one ruckman, Flanders and Jackson Clare. And I thought, look, the new recruits, your Silvanis, your TDKs, Liam Ryan and Flanders were impressive last week. So they were good. I mean, I thought they did what they had to do, and looking forward to seeing them continue that and adding more value to the lineup. Then our half forward is pretty solid. No Marshall, we'll miss Marshall, but we've got Filippo, Owens, Boxall thrown up forward, Liam Ryan, Sharman and Higgins. So in our, you would think to help out with height, they'll throw in Isaac Keeler there maybe. I don't know. They might throw Isaac Keeler because who else do we have? Because Marshall's away with concussion protocol. Then as usual, we've got Flanders, Sinclair and DeConey. And here's the bench, not the extended bench, but the actual bench, starting bench. Jack McRae, you'd think would help in the middle, rotate. Keeler, yep, I would like to see him help in the forward. And he's put on a bit of size. Saw him in the off-season training last year before we went to New Zealand. I'd like him to, give a great chop out. And then we have Jack Carroll, Wood and Garcia to run through the middle. So it's pretty much won and lost here. I'm not really worried about the midfield battle. I thought that was impressive last week. For goodness sake, I'm more focused on them kicking straight. They have to kick straight, okay? Cooper Sharman had a good game last week. Could have had a bag of 4 or 5. Missed a couple of sitters in front of goal. Liam Ryan to literally level the scores. Kicked a beauty from the boundary, only to miss the next one from straight in front. So we really have to capitalise, guys. And Mitch Owens takes good clunks and kicks, but has to make a bit more mature decisions with his ball usage. We fix this. I don't see us losing this game, okay? Very important. I'm not worried about the defence. I think we will hold up very well. Jack Silvani has really fitted in pretty good, and I'm really happy with what he's brought. It's a big loss to Carlton, so we capitalise on the gain of him, of his services. Taru just has to keep applying himself. And yeah, it'll be a really, really good battle, no doubt. You would think one of these guys, or Hall or McRae, will go on Steele, Windy to go on Langdon. And yeah, I think their backline, they don't have a backline. And there's no Jack Miney, so that makes it a bit more vulnerable. But they're tall forwards. It rests with these guys, especially these back three, as you can see. Okay? So no doubt, it's going to be a very, very big contest and a very important one. They'll be up and about, the Melbourne fans and their players, but our goal is to just focus on our brand of football, okay? So, in saying that, I want to talk to you guys about the preview points that I do for every game I preview with the Saints. First one, as I paraphrased, you got to contain the Melbourne tall forwards. Bailey Fritz, I remember last time we played them, he got on a roll in the first quarter, the game where we came back from 46 points down. So this could be a Nasai revenge game for the Ds. I remember we beat them twice last year, but in the second encounter, I think what exactly happened was we were 46 points down at three-quarter time, only for them to lose by a goal, the Ds, thanks to some Nasai heroics in that last quarter. How good was that? And looking forward to seeing if you can bring that again. Melbourne's home ground, okay? So we have to contain these people. There's no second thoughts about these. We have to contain them. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit challenging. Number 2, Nasai versus Kasai battle is crucial. If this matchup proceeds, as mentioned in the lineup, that's huge. I know Kasai Pickett has had a bit of things going on in his life, and there was 50-50 whether he'll play tomorrow or not. But if he's there, this is a huge lineup. One player who could contain Cozzy Pickett with pace is Naz, or Brad Hill, but I'd take Naz in a heartbeat. Okay, so important. Naz had his colours a little bit lowered last week, 19 disposals, but kicked a beautiful goal in that second quarter to get the crowd up and running. If he can get back to his 30 plus disposals tomorrow, yeah, that's just enough for Melbourne to just choke, okay? Number 3, conversion opportunities are pivotal. This is the most crucial thing. And I'm hoping the boys learned that from last week's result versus Collingwood, absolutely. We did everything right against Collingwood. I thought effort was good, intent was good, entries into 50 was good, but boy, we had to be a bit cleaner in the 50 in terms of converting to goals, not missing the basics that you'd expect even under 18s will kick better, to be very honest. No disrespect. So this is huge. Doesn't matter who you play. We don't convert, it's going to hurt. Okay. Number 4, look, When St Kilda played Hawthorn last year with Josh Battle against his former team, that had a lot of spice in it because of the way Battle exited the club, telling the boys he'll stay, till the night before saying that I'm sorry, I love you guys, I'm leaving, and that through to an through an SMS he did that. So there was a lot of spice in that one because of the way he left. But Steele's, it's a different one. I don't see much spice or grudge in tomorrow's. Don't forget, Steele didn't want to leave. Despite him being asked to explore, he wanted to stay. He wanted to stay. Rossline said, look, you're not guaranteed to get much AFL minutes if you stay with us, but we're happy for you to stay. If you want more AFL minutes, I think it's a good idea to look around if you can. And similar to Tim Membry's situation, Steele was ready to stay. It was only when Melbourne came knocking on the door that this all happened. And look, Steele still was thinking through it and ended up going. So, look, he didn't want to leave, okay? We literally asked him to make room because of our upcoming midfield with guys like Naz in the guts, Filippo, Sam Flanders from the Gold Coast. You just think, how will Steele get his minutes in AFL? And to be honest, guys, as a passionate Saints supporter, I'd be gutted to see him play out more VFL games than AFL. Because, A, he's such a loyal guy, and B, he's been a warrior for our club. Even Ross has admitted that. He has carried this club through very good and challenging times. Okay? He reminds me of what Nick Riewoldt had to do. Okay? So it was not an easy thing for him. And I really, really appreciate it. He's such a loyal guy. Number 5, Melbourne's first game in 2026, as I said before, in front of their home ground, gives their fans plenty of reasons to be up and about. So, no doubt, they're going to be really excited up for it. But as I said, our goal is to focus on what we can control. Okay? So I'll leave it there, guys. I think that's all I have to say. Should be a very good game tomorrow. And my next video will be a review about the game, hopefully talking about a victory. Till then, take care, stay safe, and go Saints. Bye for now, guys. Thank you.